How excited are you to start training camp tomorrow?
It's out of the roof. I'm working on my game. I'm really confident in myself right now, so I'm ready to go out there. Everything is paid off. All the work, all the late nights, all the early morning.
Bronny James has yet to deliver performances that genuinely match the standard of the NBA, and this assessment goes beyond a temporary slump or the typical patience given to a developing rookie. The concern isn't about potential or age, it's about what's happening on the court right now. If you stripped the surname off the back of his jersey and evaluated him purely on production and impact, this likely wouldn't even be a topic of debate. The spotlight feels amplified not because of consistent, high-level output, but because of the name attached to it, and that reality shapes the conversation more than the basketball itself.
From day one, it's been a lie. Like, kid missed double-digit games at USC, averaged 5 points a game after cardiac arrest. In any other world, he would return to school for another year. But not in LeBron's world. He couldn't wait to fulfill his little dream of playing with his son in the NBA.
If his last name carried no weight, the conversation would sound very different. He wouldn't be labeled as a reliable rotation option, nor would analysts be projecting him as a key piece for the future. The steady stream of optimism and built-in excuses likely wouldn't exist. Instead, the outlook would be far more grounded. At most, he'd be described as a raw prospect who needs time and serious development. More honestly, he'd probably be battling simply to secure his place within the organization rather than being discussed as part of its long-term plans.
Watch as he drives to the rim on two defenders, a 7-footer. They don't even look to hit the rope. This how I know Bronny played 2K. 6 seconds into the shot clock, Bronny putting on his construction worker hat.
So here's the honest question that needs to be asked. If you removed the name recognition and evaluated him strictly on skill and production, which element of his game clearly meets NBA standards today? Is there a standout ability, scoring, playmaking, defense, athleticism, that undeniably separates him from fringe prospects? When you focus purely on performance and strip away reputation, it becomes fair to ask what specific strength proves he belongs at this level right now, rather than being someone still working to get there.
Take this play for example. The ball here is going to get driven toward the left block, but as it gets picked up, Bronny on the opposite wing should relocate, create a passing angle. That would either lead to an open three or a closeout. But look at how he just stays shifted up. Makes it easier for this defender to stay in the passing lane, and the Lakers from here get no advantage from that paint touch. So in terms of off the ball, Bronny's not a real threat.
And before emotions take over, let's be clear, this isn't personal criticism, it's objective evaluation. The discussion is rooted in game footage, consistent trends, and what shows up possession after possession. Basketball isn't driven by hype, narratives, or family legacy. It doesn't hand out minutes based on history or sentiment. At the professional level, it's a performance-based industry where production speaks louder than reputation. In the end, the standard is simple and unforgiving. You either influence winning in a measurable way, or you don't.
No! Bronny, off a fake dribble handoff like this, I am always going under and meeting Grayson Allen on the other side. You go over like a dumbass and layup.
What really stands out is the glaring double standard. The NBA constantly promotes itself as a pure merit system, a league where only the strongest performers climb the ladder and every role must be earned. We hear the same polished phrases whenever a player struggles: inefficient, poor fit, defensive liability, not contributing to winning basketball, not helping the team. Those labels get applied quickly and without hesitation. Yet when it comes to Bronny James, the tone shifts. The scrutiny softens, the explanations multiply, and somehow the conclusion remains that he belongs, even when the usual performance-based standards seem less firmly applied.
Oh, alright, so Bronny James is absolute ass again at basketball. Bronny, could we please sprint back here so our back is turned and our feet are set so that when we're in help, we're gonna stunt at the ball, but we're gonna be able to recover. Look at Bronny. So walk. Now my feet are going towards the ball on the kick out. This is just shoot around. What the fuck were you?
Even when he's getting exposed defensively late on rotations, confused on switches, and clearly targeted by opposing offenses, the conversation somehow bends to protect the narrative. When he shoots 1-4-12, the reaction often feels overly delicate, as if every miss is framed as a stepping stone rather than a red flag. The commentary shifts to talk of patience, development, and confidence building, as though this were a training ground instead of the highest level of professional basketball. But this isn't a developmental league or a classroom for trial and error. This is the NBA, where roster spots are scarce and careers hang in the balance. There are players grinding for contracts, supporting families, and fighting to stay employed. At this level, performance isn't optional, it's survival. And when someone is struggling that visibly, the expectations shouldn't suddenly soften just because of who they are.
Truthfully, he's so easy to coach. He's got a great soul and just a great energy about him that I like being around him, and I'm rooting for him.
And yes, I keep the receipts. I remember the confident predictions that Bronny James would be a real piece in the Los Angeles Lakers rotation by year 2, not a slow build project, not a stash for the future, but an actual contributor playing meaningful minutes. I remember media day soundbites about relentless off-season work, late nights in the gym, early mornings, lifestyle changes, even the lighthearted stories about cutting out video games and tightening discipline. It sounded like the perfect growth narrative. But when preseason tipped off, the performance told a different story. The shots didn't fall, the rhythm wasn't there, and the stat line reflected it in blunt terms, 1-4-12. At this level, the storyline only carries you so far. Eventually, the production has to match the promise.
I want to clarify one thing you just said, which is Rob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Eventually, the explanations start to wear thin. There isn't a structured level of basketball anywhere, whether it's the NBA, the G League, overseas competition, or even a local rec run where going 1-4-12 is casually brushed aside without serious questions being asked. Consistent inefficiency gets addressed quickly in professional sports because results matter. Yet when the spotlight is on Bronny James, the margin for patience seems unusually wide. And let's be honest about how fans really react. In competitive spaces like NBA 2K, if someone dominates the ball, forces tough shots, ignores open teammates, and shoots poorly, the response is immediate and unforgiving. People call it out on the spot. That same competitive standard where performance dictates respect is exactly what makes the conversation feel inconsistent when it shifts at the professional level. Don't pretend like this isn't on you, because I see it clearly and mid-aim. Consider this your last game on my squad. Accountability matters, yet somehow the NBA seems to have forgotten that lesson. What's even more baffling is the decision-making on the court. This is supposed to be a point guard, someone who reads the floor, orchestrates the offense, and makes smart plays, but instead, you've got a player attracting triple coverage and thinking, I got this. Got what? A highlight of embarrassment, a shot clock disaster, or a viral fail that echoes through the arena. This isn't confidence, it's a dangerous mix of delusion and privilege. At some point, we have to face the tough question. What is his actual role here? Forget the history, the emotions, the symbolism, strictly basketball. On an NBA level, he struggles across the board, shooting inconsistently, defending poorly, undersized, unable to finish at the rim, failing to break down defenses, incapable of running an offense, and offering zero real advantage creation. He can't protect the ball, and there's nothing about his game that screams NBA level. Not a single skill that makes you stop and say, this kid belongs here. So what's going on? Are we just pretending? Because right now, it feels like a professional costume party and internship masquerading as a career, a side quest to impress dad cushioned by corporate silence. And it's not only the play itself, the body language tells the story. Watch how opponents defend him or, really, how little effort they put in. He's never had defenders this far away, hands down, already scanning for someone else to worry about. Devin Booker is practically daring him. Go ahead, shoot. That's pure, unfiltered disrespect, no trash talk, no aggressive coverage, just total indifference. And when he misses, it stings. The broadcast reacts like the entire arena has been holding its breath for 3 quarters, celebrating his rare success as if it's monumental. When Bronny finally sinks a 3, it's less about impact on the game and more a collective sigh of relief. Congratulations, he made a 3. The whole scene feels like a parade waiting to happen, and it's painfully awkward. You can't even watch it with the sound on. The glaze on every move is unbearable, like Olympic-level excuses wrapped in cringe. But don't lay it all on him. The Lakers share the blame too, the coaching staff, the front office, everyone who's supposed to guide him. At some point, someone should have stepped in and said, this isn't helping you. Instead, he's given the clearest green light imaginable, out there firing shots with zero concern for logic, the score, or even basic flow, driving into double teams, challenging 7-footers, stepping back for 3-6 seconds into the shot clock like it's a personal highlight reel. The clank of each misfire echoes louder than the broadcast music, and the bench reactions say it all. Frozen faces, fake claps, silent pleas for restraint. And then there's the unavoidable reality of nepotism, because this conversation always circles back to LeBron. Playing with your kid is historic, yes, but at what cost? The fans, the team, and most of all, your son are caught in the crossfire. forced into a spotlight he isn't ready for and maybe never will be. This isn't growth. It's brutal exposure, every miss amplified, every poor decision clipped and immortalized, while the internet thrives on it. Right now, he's more proficient at being online than he is on a basketball court. Meanwhile, there are countless players out there who would kill for this chance, grinding overseas, dominating the G League, tearing it up in the Drew League or Rucker Park, where skill and hunger are real. These are kids whose families rely on them, who know an off night could cost everything. Bronny doesn't need this. For him, it's a hobby, a legacy side mission, a trust fund internship. Yet the NBA markets it as opportunity and growth, ignoring the math. He's taking minutes, reps, and a roster spot from someone who earned it. And don't even start with contracts. Bronny's projected earnings surpass Russell Westbrook's this year, and that should be embarrassing. Westbrook, flawed as he may be, competes, contributes, and shows up every day, yet somehow there's no room for him or for guys like Melo or John Wall, while a kid who can't crack double digits without help sits comfortably in the spotlight. Some teams go easy, out of courtesy or legacy respect, and when he finally hits double figures, fanboys treat it like a 50-point finals explosion, clip it, post it, and celebrate, conveniently ignoring everything else. But reality always catches up. You can't hide in the NBA forever. The film doesn't lie, possessions don't lie. And right now there's no basketball argument that Bronny James belongs in a rotation. So ask yourself the tough questions. Is he truly an NBA player, or just an idea? Is this about the game, or about branding and storylines? Did he earn his spot, or did the league decide the narrative was worth the cost? And let's be honest, once LeBron is gone, does this continue, or does the music stop the moment the protection ends? History already gives us the answer. That's why fan reactions and debates matter, not just for laughs, but because they reveal how the system can blur the line between sentiment and skill when money and legacy are involved. Bronny might be a good kid, kind, coachable, and well-intentioned, but none of that makes him an NBA player. NBA now rewards storylines over skill, exposing performance versus perception. So, if you're done with the double standards, the endless glaze, and being told not to trust your own eyes, speak up, share this video, hit subscribe, and let the comments section hear your unfiltered take. Conversations only change when we demand they do.